Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining New Jersey Wedding Podcast. We are your hosts, Andrea Pertel and Celia Milton, and we are both professional wedding officiants here in the state of New Jersey. And thank you for joining us today. It's a Monday for Celia and I.
Yes, it
And so,
is.
yeah, so we just came off a great weekend of weddings. How were your weddings this weekend, Celia?
I was up at Perona Farms
Yes,
and
beautiful.
oh God, I love it there. I was at the refinery, which is always beautiful. The
Hmm.
people there are great. And my couple was hilarious. Their guests were like they laughed from the first minute of the first word that I said, and that wasn't even the ceremony. It was the unplugged announcement. It was great. They were clapping, and then we tried to get the little kid up the aisle in one of those cars, and nobody could figure out how to do it. So like another little kid pushed him up the aisle, bumping into everybody along the way. It was great. They just like it was very relaxed and very like I don't want to say not formal because it is a fairly formal setting, but they were
Yeah,
just really having a ball, and
yeah.
it was just fun. We had Bree, who's one of my I can't even have a fave there. They're all my faves, but I did get a chance to sneak over into their brandy new renovated. What's the reserve is all done in a kind of Tuscany theme, and it is breathtaking. It is. I'm so excited
Is
for
that
them.
a reception space or a
It's a
ceremony
yeah,
or
it's another
both?
it's another ceremony and reception space. They have three of
Oh,
them at Perona, and they're all completely, totally different. And I was lucky they had another event going on there, but I just kind of snuck in and took some pictures. It's like, oh, this is so beautiful. I didn't post
oh, I
those
love
pictures
it.
yet. Yeah, I'm so happy for them because it's such a great place.
Yeah,
My
it's
people
a
had
nice,
yeah,
nice area. It's
it is.
I have I'm not there too often because I'm not located
You're like
anywhere near
far. You're
them. But
far
you're
away.
there all the time. I see
Yeah,
pictures on your Instagram. It just looks beautiful and they're
it's
so
gorgeous.
professional there. What a
They
great
really
place.
are.
And don't you love it when the ceremony, you know, to have such a nice, fun, engaging ceremony. What a way
Yeah.
to start your big day, you know?
Friday night ceremony. Friday nights I think have a vibe all their own. It's
Oh,
like,
yes.
okay, we're like ready for the weekend. We're rocking and rolling. It was great. I had marquee photography who were wonderful and a good DJ and it's just lots and lots of fun. But you were on like the wedding and baby naming marathon this weekend. It was like you had like everybody in your county. You were
Yeah.
doing, I don't
Well,
know.
on Saturday I had four, and it just so
That's
happened
crazy.
to fall. Um, the timing was right for everything, and
Hmm.
everything was very close to each other. And so I started with an elopement, and also my two elopements that I had, they were supposed to be outdoors, but they moved them inside because we just had downpours
Oh
this
yeah, it was horrible.
weekend, and all the backups worked out well. The first backup was at a bed and breakfast in
Oh, nice.
Seagirt. So they that was really nice. They still got the beach vibe. And then I had a
Hmm.
baby blessing in Manasquan. That was a beautiful, beautiful home. And they had a um, like a sun porch, but they have it enclosed. So you got a little of the outside feel there. That's where we had the ceremony. It was a catered event, a big family
Oh, that's
event.
nice.
That was really beautiful. And then another elopement in Brick. We moved it indoors. And then I had a little micro wedding at Our House Family Restaurant.
Oh,
So,
cute.
and that wasn't until 7 that night. So everything was very well spread out and
Nice.
it just was fabulous. It was just one good thing to another, a real feel good day. I love it,
Yeah, and all the pictures on your Instagram were like so sweet
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And then
The
I had an
baby,
elopement today in my home office. That was really sweet too.
yeah, Michael had one in our park. Actually, they called me from my favorite bagel store, and they're like, "We're here. We're like, we're ready. We're going to start over." It's like you are 2 minutes from the elopement site. Have your coffee, relax. We'll be there. It's going to be fine. They're like so like on top of it. I love people like that.
Oh yeah.
But I think, the idea this is something, it sounds kind of weird, but there's the same kind of vibe with an elopement where people are, they're like there, they're ready, they're relaxed, they're parked, as it is with my big weddings in places where they have really good staff, because nobody's worried about anything. It's like, we're not rushed, we're not late. This is great. And
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
For me this year, April has been such a big month
Yeah, us
for
too.
elopements,
Hmm.
just elopements, like crazy elopements and some baby blessings. So elopements and baby blessings this
Like
month,
it.
and then the bigger weddings at some of the my formal beautiful venues are starting in May.
Yeah.
It's funny how things fall, isn't it?
It's
You have a
interesting.
whole
Yeah.
bunch of one thing at once, or you're at a certain venue um, like a lot in a row,
Hmm.
So,
It's always
yeah,
fun. It's always fun to try to figure that out. Of course, there isn't
yeah.
a lot. This is the wedding industry. There's no like logic like at all. So it's
But it was
ridiculous.
certainly a joyful weekend for me, and it sounds joyful
Yeah,
to
it's
you. So
fun.
there's such a feel good job sometimes. It's just so great,
It
right?
is. But that brings us to our smooth, right? That
Yeah.
brings us to our episode today, which probably is going to be two episodes. The wedding. It's like the wedding's done. It was great. Now what? Well,
Yeah.
I got news. The days after your wedding are going to be almost as busy as the ones before. Not in the same way, but there's a lot of stuff to
Yeah, the
take care
tying
of.
up
You
loose
don't,
ends,
and you
right?
don't have to do it all at once.
No.
I have people, I had somebody call me the other day. She's like, we never got our license. And I'm like, look, thinking in like my brain's like, what? It's like, their wedding was 3 years ago. It's like, did you not have the need for your wedding license in 3 years? I
You
find
mean
that a
their
little, they
certificate, their
never got
vital
the real
record,
license. It's like, you have to do that because you need that. So we're going
Yes,
to take
yes.
care of
You
like,
have to get your marriage certificate.
yes,
That's
you
your
do.
vital record. You
You
should
do.
do that right away.
You
Yeah.
should probably do. I mean, there's no legal timeline that I know of in, to change your names or, I mean, but most people have something that they have to do.
Right. So, combined health insurance, things
A
like that
mortgage, yeah.
always work. So it's a good idea to make a list of, just like you do leading up to your ceremony, the after wedding ceremony list
Absolutely.
of what to do. And
Yeah.
and obviously, immediately at the end of the night, you want to gather your belongings. So make a list of all the
All
decorations
that
you
stuff.
brought, your
Yeah.
personal items. Maybe you brought some personal items with you there in case you
Pictures
needed
and,
it through the
guest
night.
books. Yeah.
Yes, maybe you had a memorial table, maybe you had
Mhm.
pictures of you when you first met, all of that
Right.
kind of stuff. If you have a wedding coordinator, if you've hired a wedding coordinator, I'm sure this is one of their jobs, and they will
Yeah.
make a list, have you fill out this list, and they will make sure to gather it all up in a box for you, put it in your car for you, or at least have it all organized for you to take home at the end of the night. If not, make your own list. We have to get the pictures from the
Right. The
memorial,
unity candle that's out in the middle of the field over there, you know?
and your copy of your marriage license, if you've hired a professional wedding officiant, which of course I hope you have, the
Yeah.
officiant will be the one that files your license. It's their responsibility to properly file
Yeah.
your license and give you the information that you need to get your marriage certificate, which
Yeah.
is your vital record, just like your
That's
birth
right. That's right.
certificate, marriage certificate, death certificate. Those are the vital records that you
No, I
need.
don't leave mine there. There's when you pick up
No,
your
I
license,
file. I file it. It's my responsibility to file
but
them.
when you pick up your license, there's going to be 4 copies of it. Couples getting married, there's going to be 4 copies of your license, and just as a little detour there, make sure that everything when you pick it up, make sure everything is right. Some officiants will leave your receipt copy with you at the wedding.
I do. In
I
an
I
envelope
don't.
with instructions on how to get your certificate, along with the form that they need to get their certificate. Every town's form is different.
Yeah,
Every town's price is different.
their
Every town's process. Some of them have
process
them
is different.
online that you can do.
Yeah,
But then I
yeah,
also, when I get home, send them an email reminding them. I
yeah. I
also
do
say
too.
to them, it's a busy night. Here's your envelope with everything. It's a busy night. If you have any questions, just contact me. You
Yeah,
know,
see, I started like not leaving. their receipt copy there because I had too many of them get get lost or go back to the tuxedo rental company. So
Oh,
it's
I
basically the
gotta
same
say,
process.
in 14 plus years of doing this, I've never had anyone lose that. So I guess I've been lucky there.
Oh God, I don't know. I just
I
maybe
give
it's
them their
just me.
copy and I leave with my 3 copies and take care of the filing.
Yeah.
I know you take care of the
Yeah,
filing.
yeah.
So
I know. I think
important.
maybe it's because I send like an actual because I'm like old. I send an actual thank you note through the
Mm,
mail, and I put that in there, and it just
yeah.
it's we all
Well,
have
that's
our
a
own
great
systems,
process.
but it's
That's a
got to
great process.
it's as long as it's filed and it's not sitting somewhere all 4 copies. Nobody knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's yeah, good. And
Yeah.
in this category of things you don't want to leave behind, that is your bouquet because you may want to preserve it. And
Yeah, that's a
we had
big thing now. We even did
yeah.
we spoke to
It's
the
beyond the wildflower. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Beyond the Wildflower. They were on the podcast back on February 11th of this
Mhm.
year, and they do floral preservation. They can preserve
In
your
glass. It's
bouquet.
so pretty.
Oh, beautiful.
Their things are gorgeous.
Yeah, they really, really are
Yeah,
talented, those two women.
yeah,
It's beautiful what they can do for you. So you can preserve your bouquet. If so, they've given you instructions on what to do with your bouquet afterwards. So follow
right.
those instructions.
They're very good. But see, what you really need to do first is you need to like relax.
Yeah.
I
Enjoy the
don't love,
moment.
I do not love getting texts from people at 10 o'clock the morning after their wedding. It's not that I don't like you. It's that you should just be relaxing and doing something else,
It should not
and
be another day. You should
no,
leave it. It
no,
should, yeah,
no.
savor that
Savor it.
feeling.
Yeah,
It's
relax,
okay. It's
relax.
okay. Give
Yeah,
it,
just hang
give
out.
it
And then
some
you're going to go
time.
home, and then you're going to have, oh, then you're going to have presents to open, that's kind of cool. Keep track of them though,
Right. That is
because
something.
you will end up with a pile of envelopes and gift wrap, and you will not know where anything came from or what to thank them for.
Right. Yeah. Make a list and
Yeah,
track them. So
definitely.
and so gave us this because you're going to reference that on your thank you
Yeah,
cards.
you want to make
Yeah.
a thank you so much for the fourth crock pot. When people, I don't think people give crock pot, maybe Instant Pot. Maybe that's like an update thing about that, but
I don't know. Maybe crock pots might be making a
oh, I don't
comeback. I
know,
always liked
maybe.
them.
But whatever, even, and I think it's nice if, if you get a monetary gift from people, maybe to just let them know it's like, we're going on our honeymoon next month and your wonderful, generous gift is going to be very helpful for that. Some
Right.
people know it's not just like, thank you for being there. It's a little bit more
Well,
special than
people
that.
always wonder if, especially if they've brought the gift is money in
That's
the
true.
envelope, uh, if they want to make sure you got it. There's always that
Right.
feeling. I know that feeling,
Yeah.
right?
You
Did
want
they
to know
get
if
it?
it,
You
it
think
got
they
actually
got
got
it?
there.
It's been a
Yeah.
couple of months. We have no idea. Did they
No
get
idea.
it? Did you
And you
put
know
it
what?
in the thing?
It's just like the right thing to do. You have people coming to your wedding. They're,
Yeah.
taking time and, money to buy clothes and come there and travel and maybe stay. And, it's just really the right thing to do. And, I know like when we get anything like an actual thank you note, it's just like
Oh, I love it.
it's so s- different because
Yeah.
that doesn't happen very often. The common wisdom is that you have a year to do that, but like, do not do that.
I
Don't
think
do
three
that.
months,
No,
right?
no,
Three,
three
yeah.
months, and
Some
share
people say
share
within
it,
3 weeks
share the
of
work.
of
Make it a
coming home
date
from your
night.
honeymoon. Yes, right.
Make it a
Share the
date night.
load.
We
Yes,
got,
it's not
we're doing
just one person's.
A
Both of you
through
sit
F.
down and do it. Yeah, exactly. And then it goes by.
Goes
It
by
could be
fast.
one of the first things you do together as a couple.
That's true.
Where you split the chore up. You know.
That's right. Well, when you're ordering your invitations, I know a lot of people do their invites online, but I still just anecdotal evidence is that my people are still doing mail invitations,
Right.
and you can book your thank you notes when you order those, and then you've got them, and there they are, and they're sitting on your table, and you've got to do them. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
cool. And then you're probably going to get you're going to get two of the same air pot, no
Right.
matter how
If you've done a registry,
right.
and you might get duplicates.
Right.
Although a lot of registry you can see who bought what,
This
but you
is
might
true.
get duplicates. But most places that do wedding registries do have a policy for
Yeah.
duplicates. You can
Yeah.
exchange or return that. So if you do a registry, make sure you understand what their plan is
Right. You
there.
still write a thank you note.
Oh,
You still
absolutely.
do.
I don't think it's necessary to say we had to return it.
Yeah, no, we got 18 ironing board. Oh God, ironing boards. Listen to me. Who has an ironing board anymore? Oh
Nobody
my God.
irons.
Oh, and nobody irons. Oh God. Oh God.
Every once in a while, maybe
I
someone.
know, no. And there, there may be on the less fun side of things, you may have balances to vendors, probably like your, photography, sometimes things that have not been given to you yet, your photography, your video, things like that. You might have some balances. You might have some overtime with different vendors, and you just
Exactly.
want to get that cleared up and get it like out of there, and then you can like move on.
Yeah.
Um, if you did catering at your house or a venue, you might have unused liquor. And most of the time, if it's been treated well, if you're buying liquor for, a host a host bar that you are stocking, before you buy any of that stuff, make sure that you know what the return policy is, because it's
Unused.
really
Yeah.
hard to predict what people, I mean, this comes from my catering background. It's really hard to predict what people are going to drink, and you don't want to be drinking some esoteric tequila for, well, maybe you do want to drink it for the next 6 months, but you'd probably be better to bring it back. You
No,
know?
yeah, right. It's very common
Yeah,
for
it is.
there to be an agreement with the liquor because you
Yep.
always want to have too much, right? That
Right.
any unused, unopened um, bottles can be returned.
Can be
But
returned.
just that's another thing to look for when you're doing that,
Right,
what the
right.
agreement is
Yeah.
in your service agreement with
Yeah.
them, you
Yeah, and
know.
you may have brought in furniture from, Heartfelt Rentals, or, one of
Yes,
the other places that we Monmouth Rentals. I just talked to Monmouth Rentals yesterday. But you may have rental things that you're responsible for, either coordinating the return of them, or, if it's like small wares like vases and things like that, you might have stuff from your florist that needs to go back. Um, I don't know. I think the smartest way to deal with that, because most of that stuff needs to be out of your venue that night, or maybe out of your backyard that night. Just find a person in your family who will kind of take charge of that. I think
yeah,
that's the best way to do that. But because you want these things to go back to where they belong. But then you have what you wore. Probably the tuxes need to go back. The suits
yes.
need to go
And
back.
that's the
Yeah.
the tux or the suits, if they're
Yeah.
rental, that would be the groomsmen's
Right. Yeah.
responsibility. And usually they're very good, but make sure they understand the policy, how many days after
Right.
the wedding that they need to be returned before there's a fee, a
Right.
late fee, because and usually these places, I know when my son was in my brother's wedding,
Hmm.
um, he got it from the store near us. You don't have to
Right.
go far away. He was able to return it to a different location,
Yeah.
so usually you can return it to a location near you.
Yeah,
Um,
what I would do honestly is I would make like a little, I don't know, just like a little cheat sheet for the women don't usually, no, well, because they buy their dresses, so
yeah,
there's nothing really to do with them, but it's like for, guys, it's like, okay, this is
I'd
what
be
you need to
sending out
do.
a
Yeah.
reminder to the guy
Right. This is what
uh,
you need to do. Make up that email like before the wedding,
way
and
in
then you can
advance and
totally.
schedule it to be sent
That's right.
2 days
Yeah.
after the wedding or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know. And make sure
Friendly
that your wedding
reminder.
license is, make sure that one of them doesn't have your wedding license in the pocket, okay? Just not that that's ever happened to me, but you know, but any decor you have, florists, florists very often need to have their vases back,
Yes,
or their big pieces back. So that's something to discuss with your florist beforehand. So the less you have to really worry about afterwards, because you want to just like you know you want to be in that moment, for even if that moment can only last for like a day. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and I'm certain that they have a time when they come back to pick that up. Same with heartfelt rentals. If you've rented,
Yeah.
the couch or the different items, furniture for that, you've agreed when they're going to come back and pick it
Right.
up, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah. it's just it's just good practice for you, and it's just you want to have everything kind of wrapped up, and yeah, and you do your thank you notes. If you rented a car or a motorcycle or a speedboat or something like that, that'd be a good time to get that back too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And your
uh,
wedding dress
yeah. Oh.
preservation.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works. We have a couple of places that we'll have on as guests that do wedding dress preservation. I would
Like have them
imagine that,
cleaned and
yeah,
preserved
that probably
and
has to happen
yeah.
pretty soon. Yeah,
Yes.
cool. Cool. And find those shoes and bring them back home.
Yes, yes. And
But,
if you've borrowed anything, something borrowed,
mhm.
something blue, if you've borrowed anything from, the earrings or somebody's special necklace or anything like that, just make your list and get it back to them within
Yeah,
the week of
really.
having a ceremony.
If you're not going away on a honeymoon, and I'm seeing more and more of my couples waiting, doing just like a tiny little, like a couple of days maybe, or if they're at one of our places that has,
A mini moon.
yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
Wolverton, places like that, they can stay there for a day or two and just kind of chill out. But um, just don't try to get everything done. Like I get calls like on Monday morning from people who want to know how to get their license back. It's like just
Yeah.
relax
Yeah.
for a little
And it's
while.
actually when you I have some couples that get mixed up. They'll call the clerk to get
Yeah,
it's the certificate that you get after
right.
you're
I know
married.
everything. I tend to refer to everything as the license, and that really
Yeah,
doesn't
but
help
if
matters at
you
all.
call up and say we want to get our license, the clerk's going to think you're getting a marriage license,
Right.
and then everybody gets all confused.
Yeah.
It's your valid certificate afterwards because your officiant files the license.
Yeah. We're supposed to tell you, and I usually do, I tell people it's going to be 2 weeks before you can get your certified copies back. That's mostly to account for the mail.
Yeah, out here
Um,
it's a 3 to 5 business days, but
Yeah, yeah. Once the office has your license, you can usually get it, right back. But again, every office is a little bit different. So you should ask your wedding officiant like where you're going to go, who's going to be dealing with you, and where's it going to go back. There's two clerks involved in most weddings: the one where you get your license and the one where it goes back to.
mhm,
It's just we would always rather have you call us and we can help you and make sure you got everything right than to have everybody like kind of nervous about it because it is nerve-wracking. It's a legal document.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
And
because you can't really do anything else right then.
right. The reason you need to have your certificate, the legal document, is if you're going to legally change your name.
Right.
Now, as you said, like with the honeymoons, I am seeing with a lot of my couples that they're not changing the last name. The
Right.
brides are not changing, and I attribute this to you're getting married later in life, in their 30s, right? And they've
Mm-hmm.
already established themselves
Mm-hmm.
professionally. And it seems a little overwhelming, like everybody knows me by this name, and now I'm
Yeah.
going to change my name, and now I have to reestablish myself. So, but still, even if you're not going to change your name, it is important to have that vital record
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and whenever you need to prove you're married for buying a house, putting on mortgage together,
Right.
or, anything like that, health insurance, combining
Right.
credit cards, bank accounts, anything like that. Um, but that doesn't mean you have to change your name. If you
Well,
want
and if
to,
you're going to do anything, you don't want to do it before, if you're doing like a honeymoon over the summer, now we're in April, I have people going away in, June, July, August. Don't do anything because you've probably got your travel documents already. You've got everything done with your current names.
don't do
Just
it.
don't do anything.
Don't
Do
have
it
a
when you
driver's license with your new name and a passport with your
no,
old
because if
one.
no, if
That's
you
not
go,
going to
yeah,
work for
no, no,
you.
no, 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 and if you try to get, your real ID right now, you probably will not make your plane in 3 months. You'll still be waiting for it. So it's just leave everything the way it is, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, yeah, you don't have to hurry with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good
So,
advice.
well,
Could you
and so,
imagine?
I know some of my people, and I think this is partly due to COVID. Some of my people who needed to change health insurance, somebody's going to go on somebody else's insurance or whatever. It's like some HR departments will start that process without the actual certified copy because in COVID everything was slower and weirder. But
Hmm.
I wouldn't do anything that has to do with travel. Don't change anything, and just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Just trying to, and there are companies out there who have like, don't do that. You don't need to. It's no harder than doing it yourself, and you don't have to do everything all at once. Just enjoy being married, and tell the people who didn't get to your wedding that you're married, and
I think that's the most important is enjoy those,
yeah,
go
enjoy
home and
it.
enjoy being married, live in the moment,
Yeah,
savor that moment. And
right.
then you just have to have a list just like you do
Yeah,
for the wedding
yeah.
itself when you're going to get things and then you have a list of all the things you have to do
You have to do.
directly
It's easy.
afterwards,
It's
and
pretty
there's
easy.
nothing
Yeah.
better than crossing things off the list. I'm a
That's
list
right. Listen, we
person.
can make
I
this and
gotta
we can make a list for you. I got it all right in front of me. I just have to clean it up because it's kind of messy, but there's plenty of lists that you can Google out there for the things you have to do, but the
Yeah, I'll
the,
tell you
the
what, if you comment on this Instagram post
yeah,
for this episode, just comment list and we will
we'll
send you
send
a
it. We'll
link
send it to you.
to download the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. It's what the thing is when you're planning your wedding there and you start to get to that like one or two, when you have everything big done and now it's like maybe a month or so ahead of time, there are a billion details
Mhm.
and they all seem like they're, absolutely vital to life, which that's another podcast for another day. But, just don't stress over it. Just, do things at your own pace. There's no time limit as far as I know for changing your name. Um, you probably, if you're not going to change your name, I don't know that you even have to really notify Social Security that you got married, but there's
No, you
nothing
don't.
there, yeah, until you get to the point of collecting stuff. And that's like way off. That's way off in the future. But just relax. And, probably for anybody who's, planning a wedding, probably has at least five people they can ask for any piece of information they need, including us. And just people are, we'll help you. It's easy. It's
Yeah.
easy. It's overwhelming when you start. And, as you chip away at things, it gets to be less and less so until you're like an expert.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
don't forget to leave those positive reviews
That's right. We're going to get to
where
that next time. That's like the next episode of Oh my God, it's over. What are we going to do now? We'll we'll cover some other things for you, like writing thank you note, a little more about thank you notes and things that you might want to know legally and financially, and thank you notes and reviews and posting photos, and a little bit on planning your honeymoon. And if you have any ideas about what we didn't talk about yet, just let us know, and we'll cover that, right?
Yeah, if you have any
Yeah.
advice on what to
Yeah.
do or how to organize this after your wedding, let us know. We would love to share your advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like hearing it from people, live advice, what they did.
That's right. But the most important thing is just to enjoy that night. And when you walk back down the aisle and now you're in the midst of your friends and family and everybody's having a great time, just relax, enjoy it, take it all in because nobody is, unless you're on four weddings, nobody is rating your wedding. They're there, they're happy, they love you, they're going to have a great time.
Oh, I love the four weddings.
Oh, I know it's a guilty play. I feel like it's an occupational hazard as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that and things like Say Yes to the Dress.
Oh,
So
still watching that. I think there's 4,000 episodes between New York and Atlanta. I mean, I'll be watching that like for
I know.
years. I
It's
have
so
been watching it
fun.
for years.
I know, I know,
I
really,
know.
really. It's been around for years.
I
Love
know. It's
it.
kind of always the same, but it's always like fun, and I always end up crying at some point. I don't know. It's just bad. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, good. No, I think this is a good start. We'll clean up the rest of this next time, and you guys will all be good to go.
Right. Thanks so much for joining us today and happy planning.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey wedding officiating services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.